Hello, I'm not Chuck. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you may recall that back in January of 2020, 2 pine trees fell on the old barn at our farmette in Mississippi. It was damaged beyond repair, and Glenda and I demolished it. The good news is that we had it insured for replacement value, and the insurance company was very fair in the payment of our claim. I use a relatively new technique for felling trees. It is supposed to be one of the safer methods to use and consists of 3 cuts: a somewhat shallow front notch cut, a plunge or bore cut from the sides, and then a final back cut. Probably there are a lot of you out there who are much better at cutting trees than I am, and no doubt you will point out the myriad of mistakes that I make. All of you should notice that I have on a baseball cap that I got from the co-op instead of the hard hat that I should be wearing, and I don't have on any special chaps to protect my legs from erratic swings of the saw and cuts of my femoral arteries. Those 2 things alone should teach you not to use a chainsaw like I use it. I am a rank amateur, so don't do anything like I did it. Consult an expert before you even think about looking at a saw. There. That should satisfy the law experts, safety experts, and logging experts. The saw that I use is a Stihl MS-310, which I've had for several years. It replaced an ancient McCulloch that I sold to someone strong enough to lift it. The MS-310 is a good saw, but it is not a pro saw, and it has a higher weight to horsepower ratio than I would like, considering my advanced years. Maybe you're wondering why I am even cutting timber. After all, I told you that the old barn was insured. Well, like good consumers, we want to build its replacement a little bigger and a little better than the original, which of course means the insurance payment is no longer enough. And there are lots of pine trees on the farmette, some of which blow over every year and some of which become infected with pine bark beetles and die. So after some investigation, I decided to build a replacement barn using lumber milled from trees that I would cut. Glenda reluctantly agreed. How that's going to work out is still uncertain, but we're headed down that path. In addition to a few acres that are covered in good-sized pines, there are some others that are close to the house. When I decided to record harvesting one, it seemed logical to choose one that was easy to get to. This one was very near the chicken coop and run, which is not currently home to any chickens, but that's another story. I got one really nice 16-foot log from the tree. It was 20 inches across the stump and 18 inches across the small end, which is the really important measurement. There were no limbs, living or dead, on the log, and it should make really nice lumber. If you know what a board foot is, then you might be interested to know that this log should produce 232 of them at the sawmill. The next log was not as big and not as nice. It was 15 inches across the small end and had one limb that you saw me cut off. It should produce about 157 board feet of lumber. I'm having both of these logs cut into 2-inch by 6-inch by 16-foot boards, and I hope to get a total of 25 such boards from the 2 logs. My cost to have them sawn at the mill will be only 25 cents per board foot, which means that each board will cost $4. The same size boards at a lumber company would be about $12 each. So you see one good reason for me to risk life and limb. Besides, next year at my annual Medicare wellness exam, I can say that I did get out of the recliner a few times and exercise. There was a third log that I took to the mill, but it was pretty sorry. It's being cut into 4-inch by 4-inch by 4-foot boards to use to stack the good lumber on to dry. Oh yeah, I did have to buy a trailer to haul the logs to the mill and the lumber home from the mill, but I got it at a good price and should have no trouble selling it when I no longer need it. I'll show you the trailer and the loading process in a future video. In the meantime, don't forget, I'm not Chuck.